Welcome back. This is day 14 of our 30-day creative and transformational journey. My name is Liz Stephanie, and I am your spiritual advisor for right now. Right now, we are only working to build a solid foundation for ourselves, giving ourselves a time and a place for intentional action. Now, we're still on deep work. Nothing has changed about that. And the deep work, after the deep work of 90 minutes, then you transition into a nice little exercise to work that body since you spent 90 minutes working your brain, okay? Now, at this point, you should be speaking with your foundation, your God, your person who is the head of your life, right? We are not in this by ourselves. If you don't have anybody to depend on, I suggest Jesus. Now, don't turn me off just yet. But I'm understanding now that I'm older that it doesn't quite matter. Now, don't get me wrong, Lord, I'm trying to put this in the best words that I can, okay? Now, what I see is everything is within our mind, but you have to remember we are a part of God. God created us to be like Him. We were created in His image. We have a part of Him. He breathed life into us, okay? Now, with that being said, we all have the same everything across the board. We are choosing to dissect ourselves and what's the word I'm looking for? Segregate ourselves in a way that I don't think that we quite understand our powers overall if we were all to come together and do something together with the same mindset, the same purpose. I think I know we would be way more advanced than where we currently are. But quite frankly, I feel like even when we change from being advanced to where we are now, because I don't think we're as advanced as we used to be or once was, it came down to divide and conquer. That's all this is. All the different, look here, look at there. That is all distraction. But anyways, I'm not trying to get too deep into that. But what I'm trying to say is because we all share very similar characteristics across the board, even when it comes down to our religion, and this is no way, shape, form, or fashion agreeing that all religion is the same religion. I am stating that as far as the mindset goes, what we're doing essentially when we are building that foundation for ourselves is giving ourselves something to believe in. It's very similar to when people do witchcraft or magic. When I read upon these things, what these people are essentially doing is believing in those items, that those items are going to help them. Now, you don't need the items. You just have to have the faith. And that's what a lot of us lack. We lack faith. Now, faith is probably the greatest thing you can have, even when it comes down to believing in yourself. I have a lot of clients, and I think if I were to quickly glance over my client list, and the way that I've helped people is essentially just giving them their own faith, something to believe in. It's very reminiscent of the movie Inception. When he has that token is what he's putting his faith in for him to be able to come back into the world. Now, Inception is my favorite movie. I've probably watched it way too many times to admit out loud, but it's because I have a lot of dreams, and I've had dreams inside of dreams, and so there's a lot that I see, I get, I'm searching to figure out for myself, like, what is this? Like, how does that work? Not to call that gospel either, but it's the faith, right? All we're doing within this 30-day journey is building our faith in ourselves to be able to complete tasks, to be comfortable enough to deal with ourselves, be energetic enough to get up and maybe work out in some way, shape, form, or fashion that we may have never thought about previously to get our blood flowing that doesn't look like what everybody else is doing so that we can find our own rhythm. This is the stuff that I think about. This is the stuff that I research. I have a lot of siblings, and we are all doing very different things in life. But there's such a disconnect that, to me, when I look at it, it's the same disconnect that I see in the world. There's no real faith. People need to believe in their idols, right? Remove the idols, remove the money. What do you have? You have what you were given when you were first born. Your most natural state. That most natural state that you have is what God wants you to come to Him with. He's not asking you to go buy this herb or go get this dirt from this location. He's asking you to hit your faith into Him. Okay? It's having that blind faith that gets you further in life. Because once you see that there is proof in whatever your God, but especially my God, shows me, if I could tell the stories in the way to get everybody to understand that what I have experienced with God is my reasoning behind believing that God is real, because I see what everybody else is seeking, right? They're all seeking the same thing. They want something to believe in, but it's the same story as old as time, right? That's the first. It's like almost the first story in the Bible, almost, when Moses was getting them out of Exodus, out of Pharaoh's hand. They needed something to believe in because they were moving in their own time. So, getting back to what we're working on, find your faith. Okay, if you need a trinket that's not the right thing, you need to understand. Or maybe it would help if you were to understand that there's always somebody watching. Like, literally, there's always somebody watching. With God being omnipotent and omnipresent, He's everywhere. Okay? You don't need to purchase anything. That's why I do give this guide out for free. You do want to help other people, but you have to save yourself first. You have to build your foundation. You have to know where you're going, okay? Now, I also wanted to discuss, I guess what I was trying to tell you all yesterday, and this is the last day of phase 2. We will be heading into phase 3. But I guess I did that today, which I'll tell you about as well. So what I was telling you the other day, as far as like what I was writing down about my epiphanies, things have just been falling into place for me in a way that just makes sense with my energy levels, as well as like dealing with both my sons with their very different schedules, but me attempting to do all the things that I want to do, right? Like, I am a business person at heart. I've always sold something to some capacity, and I've always had customers since I used to sell that string to make those keychains. I believe that was the first thing I ever purchased. But I remember there was a journal prompt that we had to do in school, and my teacher called my dad to tell him that I had a brilliant mind in the way that I was thinking, because I created a cotton candy tree that you can plant outside your house, but you needed to purchase like the specific sugar water situation to water it. And she was like, that is the perfect thing. And I will never forget that. So I say all this to say that I have always been in a creative mindset with doing different things, but I've never really had I would call it chaotic. There has never been a mainstream way for me to do these things that I wanted to do or that I sought out to do. I was just doing things, and once I've done it, I move on. So yesterday, I got an email from my website host. So I have a website. I am hosting several other sites outside of my main site, but they called me and they told me, hey, we're not going to be able to host your website anymore. Don't really want to get into specifics because honestly, that's my business and it don't really matter. You know what I mean? But what I'm getting at is when you're working intentionally, things get to moving in a way that I am having to spend some time now reworking a brand new site, but that's part of my overall situation. So I build my own website anyways. I'm not missing out on anything. I'm not even skipping a beat because it's giving me the opportunity to redo it in the way that I want to do it. And this is probably like my 100th time switching my website up. But I'm here to tell you that things happen because you're changing your mindset. You're changing where you thought you were previously going. Now that you are taking this information and you're utilizing it to put things strategically together, things will move in the way that they should. And sometimes things just fall off. And I have never been one to question why something isn't for me or why something has stopped me from, being great. That's never been my greatest issue. And I know that there are people who sit around and pray for my downfall. And to those people, I just want to say, get a life. No, seriously. May God heal you in however He sees fit that you should be healed, because I'm not a bad person to me, right? I have my issues. I'm not perfect, but I have attempted to be the best person I can be with all my friends. And I'm only one person. So when people feel like, oh, I'm not the best for them, then, it's just time for me to move around because I'm just one person. You should have more support than just me. Now, I can be a good friend to you, but I can't be your only friend. And so I've been waking up to all these different areas of my life that are just falling to the wayside because I'm no longer that person. I'm no longer where I was at that point. So, of course, like I told you, my timing for all my different activities have changed. I have removed the alarm clock situation. My schedule is not as static as it once was, where I needed to complete this by this time or this time and that time and that time. I have my list. I keep it updated, and when I have the available time, instead of doing the things that's easy to do, I tackle the things that's most difficult for me to do, okay? And that has been working out in a way that my recording now has went from nap time all the way into bedtime, because I am finally able to get out of the shower with my 2-year-old because he will not allow me in the bathroom by myself. So he's taking his own. I'm switching things up. Things are working, okay? Don't give up. Don't be defeated when things get switched. Do not let what's currently evolving in front of you distract you. Stay focused, okay? Another thing that I have noticed since I have started doing these 30-day intervals of me working on building a better self, I have figured out the stock market, and I don't even know how long I need to sit on this information before I share it. I am on my second wave. Well, no, I started in March, April, May. So this is about my second wave. I started at the end of March. So I'll say this is my second wave of me figuring out the stock market in a way that just makes sense from astrology standpoint. And I'm not sure if it's just me picking out the pattern currently, or if this is something that I can truly stick side by side with a strategic planet when it makes its moves and turns and causes different people to have different emotions, to make different moves in life, right? So we're all doing things strategically together. No, we're all doing things together by God's design, of course, that this pattern has now emerged in my stock market trading. So I don't know. I'll sit with this. There's a lot of things that I am working on that I'm not talking about because I'm kind of everywhere at once. So I don't know. I don't know who to give this information to. I don't know if I need to be the one discussing it. I don't know. I don't know if I just need to sit and monitor it and record it over time to help build my hypothesis. I have been working in so many different areas. I am so happy that I get to talk about it in a way that I see fit, no matter if the people who should hear this is going to hear it. And that's all I have to say about it, okay? Don't give up, y'all. If you need to go back to school to feel something better about yourself, go back to school. It's not going to hurt you. I don't care if you are 77 years old. Go back to school. Go get that degree. Go take that trip to that country. Go learn that language. There is nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping you, okay? Oh my goodness. And I know that there's somebody who needs to hear this, and I pray that it gets to that person. There's nothing stopping you, babes, okay? I have allowed not having a support system make me feel away. It's never really stopped me, but it's actually pushed me into the, work really hard so I don't have to think I don't have a support system, right? That's traumatic. That's not how we're supposed to operate. I have allowed distractions. I have allowed friends to pull me from my purpose. And now that I don't want to say eliminated, now that I have removed myself out of being purposeful in their lives and using all my energy for me and my sons, oh my goodness, there are so many things come to light, and I just wish this upon any person looking for hope in this crazy world, because I've been in a lot of different rooms, okay? I have heard different things from different levels of people. I have talked to millionaires. I haven't talked to a billionaire yet, except for in my dream, which is so crazy because that millionaire is now in the city. And I just feel like there's going to come a time where either I'm going to bump into him or he's going to bump into me. And then at that point, I don't know. I will know. But I have been in rooms with so many different types of people that it really makes me feel very humble to be in a position to have a story and want to tell it in a way that helps other people grow and be better, okay? That's all I'm here for today. I'm going to go ahead and end this because I don't know what's causing my videos to take almost 12 hours to upload online, but it is very frustrating for me because it's not getting out when I want it to be out. But I feel like I'm being monitored by the system because this is a money system. It's all about creating money so that somebody can get paid. But I have been working tirelessly to go the no money route because if it's for me, it's going to be for me. Anywho, that's it. That's all I got for you. If you are still here at the end of this, let me know what you got working on or what you have built for yourself, what you have changed mentally within this second phase. And then tomorrow we enter our third phase where we're just going to be reconciling and getting ready to start over in this process by combining our old self with our new self, looking at the things that we definitely want to change and crossing things off of our to-do list because we're done. We did it. It's over. So keep staying focused. Devote some time to yourself every day. Be the best at what you want to be the best at. and you're going to succeed. You're going to put your mind there, and God is going to help you. In Jesus' name I pray. Be blessed. Amen.